down of the week, and we are joined by Brownsville Hanna sophomore soccer player Anna Barragan. Anna, what's going on?
Nothing much, just here. Really excited for the interview.
Awesome. So how have you been? How are you doing?
I'm doing really good. Just I've been keeping up with my grades and training here and just doing really good here.
How is the schoolwork treating you? I know we're already getting closer to the end of the school year. Where are you guys at as far as the school year?
Um, I think we have like 2 weeks left or a week. I'm not sure for that, but the online learning, it's really different since we're not at school and we don't have our teacher there like teaching us step by step, or our classmates there helping us out, or us talking to them. But I just think it's really different. And yeah.
Has it been a hard adjustment for you, or have you gotten used to the whole online learning with your teacher setting assignments and stuff like that?
I mean, I got used to it, but it's I think it's a little difficult for me, but yeah, I'm trying to adjust on that.
Are you watching any shows, or what are you doing as a hobby on the side?
Yeah, I watch Netflix sometimes. I'm watching Once Upon a Time. It's a really good show, and sometimes I'm on TikTok a lot, or like stuff like that. I'm usually on my phone a lot too.
There you go. Any other hobbies you may have picked up on since you've had to been home, like maybe painting or puzzles or working outside in the yard, anything like that, or baking? Baking's a popular one.
Baking, no, I just usually help my mom around. I started cleaning a lot around the house, and
There you
yeah,
go.
washing the car outside or some stuff like that.
I'm sure she appreciates that.
Yeah.
Um, let's talk about your recent move. You moved from San Marcos this past year, correct?
Yes.
So you're from San Marcos?
No, I'm from here, but I moved my eighth grade year to San Marcos to live with my dad, and then I moved back again my tenth grade year.
Okay, so you started a year up there in San Marcos. What high school did you go to?
I went to San Marcos High School.
What was that like? Playing up there for a year and then having to come back down your sophomore year and play in Brownsville.
I mean, it was very difficult 'cause I didn't want to move at first, but I knew there was a lot of opportunities up there. Many colleges go look at you up there, from Austin, because we would play at Austin or San Antonio or like places there, and those are well-known places. So there's a lot of good colleges looking out. So I really thought that was like a great opportunity, because down here they don't really like watch us that much.
Mhm.
But, I mean, yeah, it was great playing up there. I enjoyed it a lot.
So you were already familiar with the valley because you were from here. You just happened to move back up there for a little while. Not
Yeah.
you got some playing time at San Marcos. Was it a 5A school? What are they? A 4A? Or
I think there's a 5A or a 6A.
5A?
Yeah.
Now that you played a season there at San Marcos High School and you played a season here in Brownsville, what's the difference in the competitiveness when it comes to soccer from that area to this area to the valley?
Over there, it was really, I think it was more difficult over there because the teams from Austin, they play select teams. A lot of the girls play in select teams from up there, and they played together for a while. And I think they're just really more physically advanced from over here. But yeah, I think it was easier playing over here, but yeah.
So you move back to Brownsville, Hanna, and you meet your team for the first time. What was that like? I'm sure there had to be a little bit of nerves.
To meet to meet them over here.
Yeah, when you came back down to Hanna and you met the Lady Eagles for the first time back here.
Um, I mean, I kind of knew them. Some players from that team, I played with them for like many years, so I already had like a little bit of history with some of the teammates. But I mean, I enjoyed playing with them. It was fun.
Was it through travel ball or just you growing up or around the area?
Me growing up around the area.
Okay, so there really it wasn't as difficult as it may have seemed because you had already known some of your players, some of your friends.
Yeah, yeah, I already knew some of them.
Okay, so walk us through your season. A lot of people know that 32 6A is an extremely tough district when it comes to soccer because Los Fresnos is there, Harlingen South, Rivera. Just what was that like playing as a sophomore at that level in this district?
I mean, it was hard for me because yeah, the teams are really good, and it was my first year, and I mean, I didn't really have that much experience playing with Hannah that much, but I mean, we all came together and we worked really hard to try to compete with these teams, and I think we held our own.
What are some things you're working on right now? That when it comes to soccer at home. Because soccer is a sport where you can individually work on your own, maybe set up a couple cones, and you have a ball, and you can be in your backyard. What are some things that you may be working on your own now that you're at home?
Well, actually, yeah, I've been doing that. I go outside in the backyard with some cones and with my soccer ball. Then my dad had taught me a few drills growing up, and I work mostly on my technical skills, like becoming faster with the ball and dribbling and controlling the ball more. And I mean my shooting too, of course. I need to improve in my shooting.
You scored 51 goals, but you didn't improve on your shooting.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good stuff right there. Um, you know, uh, Soccer. You said you've been playing this sport since you were 7. Is this the only sport you played growing up?
Um, yeah, it was the only sport I played growing up. Yeah, because I think for me, I just need to focus on one sport if I'm really serious about the sport. Mm.
What made you draw an interest in soccer? Was it just something that you saw your older family members play, or is it just a sport you were always interested in?
Yeah, when I was little, I would always watch my dad play. He would always take me to his games, and I fell in love with the sport. I think on my dad's side of the family, it's a family sport. Everybody, my cousins, my uncles play soccer, so yeah, it's a family sport. Mm.
Where do they play at? Do they play or what high schools did they play at, or where did they play their soccer at?
Hanna, they played at Hanna too,
Okay.
or my dad played at Rivera, and well, some of them at Rivera and some of them at Hanna.
Okay. So you play travel ball too as well, right? I think your mom mentioned you play travel. Who do you play for?
Right now, I'm playing for Classics Elite. They're the most competitive league here in the Valley. Yeah, they're a really great team.
What do you guys, how do you take on the off season with you playing your travel ball? Because I know like in softball, a lot of those girls see that as just as competitive as it is when they play high school, because like I said, it's the top competition, and not only that, but colleges also go out to those games to try and recruit you guys. Is it the same with travel ball when it comes to soccer?
Yeah, it's the same because we usually travel to San Antonio or Austin or areas over there, so we get recognized a lot by colleges, and that's a great opportunity too. And it's really hard too because the girls that we play against, they played for a while in the select team, so it's very good competition.
And do you switch positions when you play from travel ball to high school, or do you play the same position?
I played a lot of positions. My main position right now is forward, but sometimes I play midfield or right wing or left wing when they need me there. And I
Mhm.
play the defensive area too. And in my middle school years, I played goalie as well.
Okay, so you can do a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
When it comes to travel soccer, again in softball, everyone kind of knows each other from playing on this team and that team, and then some of the girls play at South or Los Fresnos, so you guys have familiarity with each other. Just talk about the camaraderie and how it's a small world in travel ball with soccer, and how just kind of everyone knows everybody.
Um, I mean, cause well, since for the outside leagues, I think that's how we all met each other because the players from here, the players in high school, some of them play in the same outside league, and I don't know. I think we all met each other from there, the outside leagues.
Definitely. So we're joined by Anna Barragan, a sophomore from Brownsville, Hanna, Lady Eagles. So, we're talking about soccer, and you guys were at the end of y'all's season. And fortunately, you guys were able to end y'all's season, and your season didn't get cut short, so there was no anything in question. But once you saw everything kind of get put on pause, right around spring break, what was going through y'all's mind? Was it, I mean, because this is something different because everyone else we've had on here said, well, our season was put on pause and then our season got canceled. But you guys actually got to play through your season. So
Yeah.
but what was that like being on the outside looking in, just at the whole situation for everybody else?
I mean, when I first found out, my mom told me, and I was a bit confused because of what was going on. And I had texted my friends, and they were confused too. But I mean, since our season was cut short, I mean, it really didn't affect us in that way. But for the people who did make it to the playoffs, especially the seniors, I feel for them since it was their last year playing.
Mhm. Yeah, because we at first, the first date was March 29th, that maybe sports could come back, and then it was May 4th, and then we didn't even get to May 4th when they officially canceled the rest of the spring season. Um, at what point did it kind of hit you that man, that there's going to be no more sports at all officially? Did it hit you in some kind of way? Did it become surreal for you?
Yeah, because I mean, soccer has been my whole life, so it was like I'm really missing it right now. Like the excitement I get on the field when I play, and I mean the crowd when
Mhm.
we're scoring, or I don't know, I just really miss that.
Definitely. So you had your sophomore year, 51 goals in a season. Um, just walk us through this year, and how many goals did you score last year as a freshman?
I scored 17 goals last year.
Wow. So from 17 to 51, um, what changed in your game offensively?
I think it has to be the team because, like I said, before the team here in Hanna, I played with some of the girls for many years, and I think that really helped us too. Like, I mean, our midfielder Christy Herrera, I played with her for maybe like 8 years, and me and her have really good history, so that really helped us as well on the field.
Did you do anything different in the off season as far as drills or maybe workouts or specifically working on your offense that helped you take the next step?
Yeah, I've been running on the treadmill for 15 minutes on an upcline, and I've been doing a little bit of weights too, and just like drills as well to work on my dribbling.
Hmm.
Mhm.
What was your what was the most goals you scored in a game this past season?
Um, Maybe six, I think,
6.
probably six.
Who was that against?
I don't remember.
I remember. Yeah, no, but 51 goals is a lot, and you received was an offensive player of the year from the Brownsville Herald. I used to work there with those guys. I used to work at the Star, at the newspaper, so I kind of have an idea on how that goes, and it's a bit of a process because there's a lot of names out there, and then we have to decide who did what. So that's a good accomplishment for you.
Thank
Just to
you.
talk about winning that award.
I was really happy when I heard about that because it means a lot to get recognized for something you've been working really hard for, and it just really means a lot to me.
We've had a couple soccer players on here before, and we can't go without talking about professional soccer and women's soccer. World Cup. How much do you watch the World Cup, the Women's World Cup?
World Cup. I watch it every time it comes out. Yeah, me and my dad always watch it.
What were your thoughts on the U.S. This past summer?
Um, I mean, uh, I go for the USA, but I mean, I think I go more for Mexico probably.
What were your thoughts on the Mexican season?
Um, I don't know. I just think they did pretty good. That they could do good. I don't know.
Who is your? I see. I'm not too sure how the soccer leagues run, but I know there's a lot of pro soccer teams. Who's your favorite pro soccer team for women's?
Oh, for the women's, I say Sydney Leroux.
What team does she play for?
She played for the USA team.
Oh, okay. Who's your favorite soccer team?
My favorite soccer team, like men's and women's, or
Both. Yeah.
both. PSG.
Who's
Mhm.
that?
Paris Saint Germain. My favorite soccer player, he plays there.
Okay, and who's that?
Neymar Jr. Neymar Jr.
And your favorite women's team?
My favorite women's team. I don't know. I don't really have one.
No, you just like all of them.
Yeah.
How about college soccer? Do you watch a lot of college soccer? I know a lot of girls on here mention like Oregon, Texas, and
No, I don't really watch any college soccer. Yeah.
definitely. Yeah, you have a couple of family members tuning in before we go. Uh, Oscar Garcia, I guess that's your cousin.
Yeah, that's my
Yeah,
cousin.
so that's your cousin. Luisa Garcia, I guess that's your grandma.
My grandma.
She's tuning in. Elva Mancias.
That's my friend's mom.
Yeah, she said to remember her. She said, "Remember me."
Yeah, I will. I will.
Um, and then Alondra Ramirez, she put a couple little goat emojis.
Oh,
And then
me.
Elvara Macias, she said that she's me yelling for her. That I guess she goes to your games and she's there cheering for you.
Yeah, she does.
Definitely. So you guys go what 4-4 in district play this past year. You know, again, you just missed out on the playoffs. What do you guys have coming back for next year as far as yourself and the pieces around you? Are you guys gonna have a lot coming back, or where y'all at?
I mean, right now, well, when we get back, I'm pretty sure we're gonna keep putting in the work, and hopefully, we do make it to the playoffs next year.
What do you think's missing on the team right now? Is it maybe just was it the experience, or maybe a couple pieces here and there, or what do you feel that you guys are missing to make that push towards the playoffs?
Uh, a lot of our starters got hurt this season, and I think that affected us in some way as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and many people had to switch positions to like figure out that missing piece. Like, yeah.
Yeah, because the 4-4 record isn't bad at all. Because Harlingen South was tough again this year.
Mm-hmm.
They went to the region final last year. Los Fresnos, they're extremely tough. Where do you feel that soccer is at as far as a competitive level in the Valley? Because a lot of people look at soccer in the Valley and they say, yeah, it's the real deal.
Really? Yeah, I think it is, of course, because I mean, I don't know, just us people. I don't know. I just think it really is a big deal.
It is, and it's a big deal, specifically in Brownsville, boys and girls soccer. Just talk about, you're from Brownsville. When people see, I live in Edinburgh, and when people in McAllen or La Jolla, I know their soccer programs have really improved over these last few years. When they ask me, how good is this team or that team, and my measuring stick is always, well, how have you done against the Brownsville schools? Meaning that the Brownsville schools are the standard for soccer, and I believe that. Um, Talk about how much soccer means to Brownsville and you being from there, and it really being a soccer town.
I mean, uh, when I would play here, when I started playing, I started playing in Brownsville Sports Park, and I would see many teams, like many people. That's where I met most of the people in my life, and I just think that soccer really brought all of us together. I mean, as a family or just as friends, and I mean that really means a lot growing up here and playing soccer.
And the Sunday leagues too, they don't mess around with those either, right?
Yeah.
All right. Well, that just about wraps up our show, everyone. I want to thank everybody for joining us. Before we go, Anna, do you want to give any shout outs to any family members or friends that might be tuning in?
Um, yes, I would like to give a shout out to my dad, of course. He's the one who introduced me to the game. And without him, I wouldn't have been a great player, even though I'm still growing in the sport. And my mom, of course, for all the support that she gives me and the encouragement. And my outside team, Classics Elite, for them too. And of course, my Hanna team and my coach for always supporting me and well, me supporting them, of course. And yeah, that's about it.
One last question before you go. As far as your travel soccer team goes, have they made any announcement on maybe when you guys can start practicing again, or maybe pick up some games?
No, I haven't heard anything yet, but hopefully it's soon.
All right. Well, you definitely have a lot of support. A lot of your family was definitely tuning in this afternoon. So that's Brownsville Hanna sophomore Anna Barragan. our first guest today on our sideline sit down. Later today at 3, Harlingen South trainers. We're gonna have trainers on for the first time. So we're gonna talk about how the trainers have kind of taken hold this whole pandemic. And Ronnie Perez and Mark Coronado at 3 o'clock, and then later today at 5, Rio Hondo alums Tyler Bush and Eric Bizarro are gonna be joining us later today at 5. So you have, before we go, Miss Mancia says you have Isabel and Christy play with you on your traveling team. I guess those are your buddies?
Yes, those are my.
Yeah. Yeah, so definitely, yeah, you have a lot of comments coming in, a lot of people definitely joining the show today. So I want to thank everyone for joining. Anna, thank your mom and yourself for cutting out the time of y'all's schedule and putting this together.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. We'll see you guys.